Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Hey, fans, we have been talking about it ever since Sunday. And yes, this team is playing good. They're playing good baseball now. They're pitching. They're starting to hit better. You saw the 5-single rally yesterday. Shohei Ohtani was fantastic. The defense has been good. So is this the best version that the Dodgers have to offer for 2025? I would say not. I would say probably there's quite a bit left in the tank for this team to do better, especially on the offensive end. This probably is pretty close to the best version that you're going to get from the pitching staff, especially when you're talking about the different layers of relief pitching that you're getting that is good. Last night, the relief pitching was Jack Dreyer, Edgardo Henriquez. We're going to talk about him here in a minute. Blake Trinan and Justin Robleski. The other night, we talked about Tanner Scott and how I really felt like he was going to turn into the Tanner Scott that we all wanted him to be when the Dodgers brought him over. And then also the Kike factor. It goes beyond just the batting average and all of that. It's just a injection of energy that we've always talked about. At least we talked a couple of times about that. You kind of wanted the Dodgers to get at the trade deadline. You know, the trade deadline's more than just getting guys that produce on the field. It's that shot of energy you get with new people. It's like that new, you talk about somebody needs a change of scenery or a new scenery. That's kind of what you get whenever you get that bump for the trade deadline. The Dodgers are seeing that now, not with the trade deadline people necessarily, because Alex Call and Brock Stewart both are on the IL, but they are getting it from, and this is what Andrew Friedman knew, they're getting it from the guys they're getting back. There is a bump from Kike Hernandez getting back. There is a bump from, I think, Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates getting back. I think Tanner Scott, the RPMs, the fastball is just ridiculous right now. I think there's a bump from Edgardo Henriquez really starting to climb. And then there's going to be a bump next week when Hyun-Sung Kim and Michael Kopech join the Los Angeles Dodgers. By the way, I had a chance to interview Hyun-Sung Kim. If you haven't seen that, he was super busy. I had a list of like 10 to 12 questions, and whenever I was talking to his interpreter was talking to Hyun-Sung, and I only got to ask 2 of them. So if you haven't seen that interview, go and check that out and check out the couple of questions. I don't know if you'd call it an interview or what that might be, but the couple of questions I got to ask Hyun-Sung, and I'm going to get a chance to talk to Michael Kopech today. Talked to him last night in the Oklahoma City dugout. We got it set up to interview for this afternoon, so super excited to talk about him. Those are 2 more bumps the Dodgers are going to get, and then also you get a bump from winning that Sunday game against the Padres, and we've talked about it ever since. We talked about it before that game. That game, I think, was a season turner, one way or the other. Of course, you can say that now because you did win the game, and you have played very good baseball since. The only team all year to sweep the Cincinnati Reds, and then you have a 2-game lead, basically a 2.5-game lead on the San Diego Padres, and I think even the bigger deal than that, of course, you got to watch the San Diego Padres because they're very good, and they have the easiest schedule coming down the stretch. So, not saying that you just shoo off the San Diego Padres because this is a divisional race, but I think the bigger race to follow is, can you continue to leapfrog the Phillies? The Dodgers last night leapfrogged the Phillies. The big deal out of that is, if the playoffs started today, the Dodgers are not in the wild card round. That is huge because that wild card round, man, I mean, it's like Joe Davis said on the broadcast last night, it is absolutely a coin flip. So I could not be more excited about the direction the Dodgers are heading. I think there is a substantially better offensive version of this team out there. I'm very proud of Michael Conforto. Hey, we have been rightfully so very difficult on him right here on Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Andy Pages continues to hit the ball well. And so Will Smith had a home run to the opposite field the other day. Dalton Rushing has a couple of hits lately, and you're going to get Tommy Edman back. So there's a lot to look forward to with this offense. Obviously, the pitching is really pretty much right exactly where you want it to be. The bullpen has been fantastic. The starting pitching, other than Shohei Ohtani and of course Shohei Ohtani went as long as he has all year, and he's ramping up. So I shouldn't say Shohei Ohtani. That's actually an inaccurate way to put that, because he got the win last night, and the reason why he got the win was because he actually went long enough in a game to get a victory. So other than him being in a situation to where he's just ramping up, let me put it to you that way. And then also Clayton Kershaw, the 5 innings the other night. This starting staff has gone longer, and not only have they gone longer and given quantity, they've also given quality as well. You have the Padres out of the way, so if you gain, say, a 4 or 5 game lead on San Diego, although they've done it, we saw them do that from July 3rd to actually take the lead of the Dodgers just less than a week ago. So they can do it, but when you don't have head-to-head games against an opponent that's chasing you, it makes it much, much, much more difficult on them, because they have to win on a night that you also have to lose. If you don't get that, like if you play head-to-head, obviously if you win, then the other team obviously loses. So it makes it a lot more black and white from that aspect. But again, if the Dodgers can continue to play good, just worry about your own situation. Don't necessarily worry about San Diego. But as a fan, I will be checking in certainly on the NL West, but I think more so on the wild card situation to make sure the Dodgers don't have to play in the wild card. So it was good to see that the good offense, the inning where you had the 5 singles that scored. It's been a long time since the Dodgers have done that. And another thing too, hey, it was a slow start. There's no doubt about that. The Dodgers got started offensively slow last night. But once they got started, if you look at, you had the 5 single the scoring inning. Bottom of the 7th, you had the bases loaded. You scored in the 8th, and you had the big 4. So a lot better job last night, even though you had the slow start, of putting pressure on the defense in more innings in the game, other than just the innings that you actually scored in. So, like I said, start faster. Let's get a bigger lead. But I think the consistency in terms of not only just the parts of the lineup, you're seeing different parts of the lineup come through. Michael Conforto, Andy Pages, and then obviously Freddie Freeman. Shohei had a hit last night. Mookie Betts has had some big hits lately. Will Smith had a home run the other night. You're starting to see, as Austin said yesterday, the lineup lengthen a little bit more, like we were hoping this lineup would do more consistently at the beginning of the year. But then also last night, hopefully it was a sign that you're going to start putting pressure on the defense in more innings, other than the innings that you actually score in. So I thought Maytag was fantastic. And Jack Dreyer, he just has been rock solid. I think he should be somewhere up to the top of the trust tree, both with Dave Roberts and with Dodgers fans. Justin Robleski, he got himself into trouble. He got himself out of the bases loaded jam. He is an adrenaline junkie. He loves the big moment. Those are the kind of moments where he does his best work. So I think Justin Robleski, probably not as high on the trust tree, although he's the one who does the multiple innings. So in some ways you could say he's more so in the trust tree, because Dave's asking him to do more in terms of pitching longer than Jack Dreyer. So I think that Justin Robleski needs to be. Matter of fact, he gave up the 8 runs in his first outing of the year, and since then he's at an ERA of 3.79. So Justin Robleski has been good enough to earn everybody's trust. There's no doubt he should be on the playoff roster, and he should be an integral part of helping these Dodgers try to win their next World Series. Part of the A team, if Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates and Michael Kopech and Blake Trinan and all these guys are healthy and pitching to their capabilities. Probably not, but maybe be somewhere close. I think he's above Anthony Bonda. Alex Vesia is another guy that would be part of the A team. So good job, Justin Robleski, working out of trouble last night. And more conversation on Edgardo Henriquez, because I think this guy is really climbing the slider to end the inning last night. He's done it. I know he walked a guy. The strike zone was tight on him. So, hey, we talk about all the time. Control what you control. That part of it is what it is. You can't worry about the umpire. So he did issue a walk last night. I'm not going to excuse that, even though I felt like he got squeezed a little bit. But having said that, his control has been good. He has not walked a lot of guys this year. We know he has the big arm. And then you saw the slider to end the inning yesterday. That shows you that not just the control, which means just throwing strikes, the command in terms of where he's locating the pitches inside the strike zone is getting better too. So if Edgardo Henriquez continues to improve his control and command, watch out. This guy could be a a huge weapon, and I'm telling you, there's more in the tank for Henriquez. He has hit 105, and I think as he gets more comfortable and more confident. Right now, I think he's just trying to throw up zeros and doing so by making sure he doesn't give away free baseball. So I think there's a little bit of conservatism to him right now, but I think as Edgardo Henriquez gets more wood chopped underneath his belt, I think that you'll see him stretch out a little bit and spread his wings. That's when you'll start seeing the 104, 105. So I think there's even more in the tank for Edgardo Henriquez, and that right there is super exciting because he could be a huge weapon. You also have Michael Kopech, who's going to be back next week, barring something that goes wrong. He's going to be there with the call-ups. You're also going to have Hye-Sung Kim, who I had a chance to interview yesterday as part of the September call-ups as well. Bobby Miller, who had a good first inning last night, kind of like his outing before that. It's the second inning that got him last night. We'll get into that as far as our down on the farm. But overall, hey, nothing too deep to talk about. This is a team that is turning the corner. It's a team that is starting to play good baseball, complementary baseball. The offense and defense is starting to work together. The lineup is lengthening. The starting staff is starting to turn into what we thought it would be, what the front office built, and so is the bullpen. So lots of exciting times ahead. You have the day off today, and then tomorrow you will get back at it. The Dodgers, I believe, have the third or fourth easiest schedule coming down the stretch. The Padres have the easiest, so all you got to do, like Austin said, is worry about yourselves, take care of the game that is in front of you, like the Dodgers did in the 3-game sweep against the Cincinnati Reds. So, hey, we have a lot coming to you down the farm. We have Paul Gervais, we have Noah Miller, we have Michael Kopech, we've got Bobby Miller, we have got Josue DePaula, we have got the first win for Davis Chastain, young man who was drafted in this last draft this last summer. We've got Chase Harlan, Marlon Nieves, Logan Tabling, Evan Shaw. We have a loaded down the farm coming your way. So stick around. Let's not waste more time. Let's get right to it. Let's take a trip down the farm. Welcome to Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Who you're seeing right there is Bobby Miller. That is after he had given up a 3 spot in a second inning yesterday. Hey, the thing about it was, and I posted on social media, he went right through his first inning, only needed 9 pitches, threw 6 strikes, and did a really good job, kind of like the outing before that. It's been the second inning that has given Bobby Miller trouble. So if you want to look for a silver lining, the first innings that he's gone out there, he has been very good, including last night. But in the second inning, he walked 3 hitters, sandwiched with I believe a fly out, and then he got a strikeout to get his second out of his second inning last night. So he had bases loaded, 2 outs. He had a 1-2 count on the last hitter and threw a high fastball that got hit for a 2 RBI base hit. So Bobby Miller, the line last night was not pretty. It was 1 2/3 innings. It was 3 runs, and it was a situation to where you kind of felt like you're back in square one, at least the multi-inning type situations. There's the base hit. But I would say, again, one way you could look at it is just leave him in 1-inning relief and let's see how that works. I think that might be maybe the next adjustment in terms of role. Still, hey, the fastballs get tagged differently, so I don't want to say anything about the 4-seam or the 2-seam. But disappointing, he was not able to get through 2 innings last night, talking about Bobby Miller. And another guy that's going to get brought up for Los Angeles here in just next week, actually, is Michael Kopech. That's per Alex Friedman, the play-by-play voice of the AAA Oklahoma City Comets. Of course, you get to expand rosters to 28 players next week, so that's not a surprise. But Kopech threw an inning last night for AAA Oklahoma City. He did give up a run, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, no strikeouts, no walks, 14 pitches, 10 strikes. His 4-seam, Michael Kopech, was 94 to 97, so that's not that's not the velo that he's capable of. Obviously, it's sat 96.7. His spin rate was 2,700. It's gone over 2,800 before, and it averaged 2,600. But he did get his 4-seam in the zone 50% of the time. He needs to increase that, no doubt. So the spin, the velo, the end zone, none of that was great last night. He got 3 swings, no whiffs. He threw 3 cutters and 1 changeup. So nothing just overly spectacular last night for Michael Kopech, no doubt about that. So really just kind of move on and wait to see how he continues, if he has another outing with AAA Oklahoma City this week, and then just get ready for him to arrive in L.A. and see if that major league bump really helps him as he gets back up. That helps that velo jump back up. Paul Gervais, another guy, 6'10". You would think he throws 100 miles an hour, but he really doesn't. He's about 93, 94, 95. He likes to throw his cutter. His cutter was a good pitch last night. He really just kind of recently developed that cutter, but that was a good pitch for him last night. But he has been good. He lowered his ERA, Paul Gervais did, down to 2.45 at the AAA level. His cutter was 89 to 91. That's the pitch he threw the most last night, and so he is really leaning on that cutter at the moment, and he threw a slider the second most. So there's a good look at Paul Gervais, who has had a lot of success at the AAA level. We saw him come up with Oklahoma, or with the Dodgers, about a week or so ago. So that was exciting. I would think that it'll be interesting to see who they call up with the extra call-ups. I have not really crunched the roster to see if he is a possibility for that or if he would have to replace somebody. So stay tuned on the Paul Gervais front, because this is a big, tall, long drink of water that I know the Dodgers are very interested in. He definitely has their interest peaked, no doubt about that. Another guy that's very interesting, maybe the best defensive shortstop in the system, Noah Miller, had 2 hits last night for AAA Oklahoma City, raised his average to 275, and he has hits in 4 games in a row. Defensive first shortstop, no doubt about it. So it's good to see the offense get into gear, having hits in 4 games in a row. I had a chance to talk to Noah last night. Really cool. His brother Owen was in town the last time that Oklahoma City was in town. They got to play against each other. His family got to come and see it, and it was a really cool experience. So hopefully Noah Miller can continue to hit the baseball and let that offensive tool catch up with his fantastic defensive tool, because we know just how good he is. And talking about good, Hyesung Kim, got a chance to watch him last night, or talk to him actually. Released our interview with Hyesung Kim. Just a couple of questions. He was very busy. I gave him the question log actually to his interpreter. His interpreter read him out there, and he picked the 2 that he wanted actually to answer. So those are the 2 that I asked, and hopefully you enjoyed at least the brief interview with Hyesung Kim last night. So Hyesung Kim, he went over 3 last night. He's hitting 255 with AAA Oklahoma City. He did say in his interview, hey, he prefers infield, no doubt about it, but he just wants to help the Dodgers in any way he could. So look for Hyesung Kim to join the big club starting next week. Super excited about that, and super excited that Josue DePaula, as we move our way to him, is starting to hit the ball for AAA Oklahoma, or at least he did last night. Not AAA, but Single A Rancho Cucamonga. Josue DePaula had a good night last night for the Great Lakes Loons. He had a couple of hits. It has been somewhat of a struggle for DePaula. It was his 13th double. He hit his 13th double of the season last night. 249 is the batting average for Josue DePaula, who is thought to be a guy that's a bat to ball. His strikeout rate's about 20%. So the bat to ball hasn't been quite as elite as I think a lot of people maybe, at least in their interpretation of what he has been, but his walk rate's 18%. So his strikeout rate and his walk rate still are fairly similar. Average down to 249, so it's been a bit of a struggle. But when you look at his overall productivity, he has a WRC plus of 131, so he has been 31% above league average. That's on the offensive side. Let's now move to the pitching side. I want to show you tabletop, young man. That's what they call Logan Tabling. Logan Tabling had another good start last night for the Great Lakes Loons and looked very good. Young man out of the University of Illinois. Here he is right here. Finally got to his video there. So Logan Tabling, a good start for the High A Great Lakes Loons last night. Matter of fact, he actually, that went back to the Josue DePaula. I must have put the wrong video on there. Good start. He went 6 innings last night for the Great Lakes Loons and looked very good in his start. I do not have his numbers in terms of the start last night in front of me, so I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. Let you take a look at the big right-hander out of Illinois, and we will go from there. Another young man that I want to make sure that you know who he is, because he has been very good both at getting swing and miss and then also missing barrels. Kind of reminds you of the Jack Dreyer plot, if you will. That is Evan Shaw. I call him Shaw-matic. Evan Shaw had another scoreless multi-inning outing, not just one inning at a time, multi-innings for Great Lakes, lowered his ERA to 2.40. WHIP is just 111 for Evan Shaw, and his average against is just 170. So Evan Shaw has gone scoreless in 6 outings in a row and in 14 of his last 15. And of those 15 outings, 12 have been multi-innings, so that's a big deal there. Last night, 1 2/3 innings for Evan Shaw, 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. The young man out of KU has done a very good job for the Great Lakes Loons, so wanted to show you him. And another exciting moment last night, Davis Chastain. If you remember, Davis got drafted in this last draft here about a month or so, a little bit over a month or so ago. And last night, he made his 3rd outing for Rancho Cucamonga, and he got his very first win in affiliated baseball. So that's always super exciting to get your first win. And he has not given up. This is his 3rd outing. He's done 3.2 innings. He has not given up a run yet. This is a guy that pitches with a lot of confidence, a lot of compete factor. He believes that he is always better than the hitter in front of him, and almost always that is the case. He was a high-level position player as a younger kid, so he is a great athlete, and super excited to see Davis Chastain get his first affiliated victory last night in his 3rd outing with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. And another guy that is very exciting in the system that is with the Quakes as well is Chase Harlan. We're going to get to him if I can get his video up. Give me just a second. This is actually Chase Harlan live from the stadium. This is video via Mark Watkins, who got to cover the Quakes last Friday. But let's actually show you his, that's not from last night either. So let me go back to live from the stadium here until I can find last night's video, of which I'm not finding. Yeah, they're right here. Okay, so here's the 3 hits for Chase Harlan from last night. The thing that he did last night that was very good, you're not going to see in this video, but a lot of what becoming a good hitter is just learning the right pitches to swing at. And I think Chase Harlan did a great job of that last night. He laid off a couple of really, really nice pitcher's pitches, got himself back into situations like that 3-2 count there, where he could have the advantage in terms of knowing what was coming and then depositing base hits from there. So good job, Chase Harlan, with the 3 hits last night. Good to see him, with just kind of the overall approach. We know he has the tremendous power potential. What's the overall approach going to be? You saw there, stay inside the ball, go the other way, and do so, and getting yourself back into accounts that you're not having to hit pitchers' pitches because you've laid off of them earlier in the at-bat. So the last guy we're going to talk about tonight, Marlon Nieves. What a start last night for Rancho Cucamonga. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Again, a great start, and he has been, Marlon Nieves, we have not covered him enough. This guy has been dominant. As a matter of fact, Nieves has posted an ERA this year of 2.70, a WHIP of 111, and he has 91 strikeouts in 80 innings. Marlon Nieves. Again, let me say that name one more time. Marlon Nieves has been dominant. And then one more stat to show you how dominant he's been. Since the beginning of July, the ERA for Nieves has been just 196. A great job, Marlon Nieves. That's going to do it for Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. So glad that you decided to tune in. You wonderful Dodgers dogs are the best. And as always, one last reminder, it's a great day to be a Dodger.